2020 Acura NSX first test, fine motor control. Putting the words hybrid and supercar next to each other in 2010 would have been a mistake. That, or an oxymoron made to poke fun at the dullness hybrids were, and are still, typically derided for. In the middle of the decade, though, the Porsche 918 transformed the conjunctive hybrid supercar from irony to fantasy, but it was reserved only for those with immense personal capital. The 2020 NSX heir to an icon is proof that the formula set out by the 918 is alive and well today, but now it can be had for less than a quarter of the price. The first time I drove the NSX earlier this year, a 2019 car, my time with it was limited to an afternoon. My initial impression? Quick with a capital Q, fair enough, considering the 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged V6 and 3 electric motors combined for 573 HP and 476 lb-ft of torque. When I got home that night and told my friends and family I'd driven a supercar that day, the first thing they asked was, "How fast is it?" I suspect they meant quick, not fast. Alas, Motor Trend hadn't tested a refreshed NSX, and I could only quote old numbers. According to our testing, a 2017 NSX dispatched the 0 to 60 sprint in 3.1 seconds and raced through the quarter mile in 11.3 seconds at 123.6 miles per hour. Impressions confirmed. Fast forward to December, and what rocks up to Motor Trend's front door? None other than a brand new Acura NSX, this time a 2020, resplendent in Indy yellow pearl. These things just keep finding me. This time it's in for testing, too, and I was to be the $164,695 Super Hybrids keeper for much longer than just a few hours this time. First order of business was an obligatory trip, the test track. On the 40-mile drive there I expected to be knocked around by a stiff ride and irritating engine drone, the normal supercar compromises. But the NSX didn't show any of them. The ride, while firm, isn't any harsher than a 911 Carrera S set to comfort mode. Lumps and bumps only result in small rattles, and the NSX was rarely upset by road imperfections. Leave it in quiet mode, and the V6 acts as nothing more than a ballast. When restricted to its most docile, the NSX was cruising along at speeds of up to 55 miles per hour as a pure EV. Talk about easy. Eventually it was time for a little theater, so I turned the dial into sport and mode to crack open the exhaust. The engine comes to life instantly with a deep yowl. Mash the gas, and a whoosh of intake gurgle fills the cabin. The brisk shifts of the 9-speed DCT make it easy to experience the motor on song over and over. Sonorous. No. Satisfying. Oh, yes. A post-refresh NSX gets you stiffer toe-link bushings, larger front and rear anti-roll bars, a body-colored beak instead of a chrome one, and, perhaps most important, new rubber. The standard tire is the new Continental Sport Contact 6, tailor-made for the NSX and measuring 245/35 ZR19 up front and 305/30 ZR20 out back. Pirelli P0 Trofeo Rs remain an option. The options on our test car weren't exactly performance enhancing, though. A $3,000 carbon fiber wing, $700 red brake calipers, and $500 for a satellite radio package which I used not once was all we got. No ceramic brakes or Trofeo Rs here. At the track, it was time to see if the changes Acura made to the NSX would net improvements or otherwise. Launching the NSX is, frankly, too easy. Twist the drive select knob all the way to the right and hold steady for a few seconds to engage track mode, depress both pedals for a moment, and remove your left foot from the brake. Bang. Off you go. Quicker than I remember it being, and more thrilling, too, road test editor and acceleration guru Chris Walton said. The NSX now rushes to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds flat and through the quarter mile in just 11.2 seconds at 124.0 miles per hour. In 2017, an NSX equipped with optional Pirelli P0 Trofeo Rs and ceramic brakes stopped from 60 in a world-class 95 feet. The 2020 car we tested lacked both the fancy brakes and the track-ready rubber. Its 101-foot stop was still good, but far off the mark of something like a 992 Carrera S, which made the same stop in just 94 feet, and can be had for far less money. Although it's easy to scoff at a brake-by-wire system, in the NSX it gets rid of any carbon ceramic pedal weirdness. The orange car I drove in July had the ceramics, and the pedal felt identical to the yellow car we had for this test, equipped with steelies. Although the brake pedal lacks feel under hard braking, it is beautifully linear all the way into the ABS. The stopping power is always at the top of the pedal when driving hard on a good piece of road, and the brakes are easy to modulate. The more you press the pedal, the more braking you get. Around the figure 8, the new NSX posted a 23.8 second lap, 6/10 off the pace of the 2017 car. Keep in mind the old car's racy tires, though. It also pulled 1.00 G around the figure 8, 300ths down from our previous test. Testing director Kim Reynolds noted abrupt brake fade, though. I had to bail out of a couple of corners because I couldn't stop soon enough, Reynolds said. Maybe the ceramics would have been a good idea. Good power, though, and shifting is really great. This car used to have an overwhelming video game quality to its handling, but now it's genuinely authentic and fun. Read our full 2020 Acura NSX interior review here. Less video gamey though it may feel, the NSX's quirks still abound. The rinky-dink cup holder, which feels like it's been lifted out of a Honda Insight, means you're guaranteed to spill your grande mocha latte all over the ivory leather interior as I did, twice. There's still no place to put your sunglasses, and the trunk is so small it borders on useless. The inclusion of Honda's previous gen infotainment setup is almost inexcusable at this price, and we're thankful for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration. Look into the driver's side footwell, and you'll no doubt notice exposed wiring looms and frayed carpeting. Interior quality simply doesn't befit the $160,000 price tag. Much nicer insides can be had for the same money, at Audi R8, at Porsche 911, at AM anything. Oh, and fuel economy doesn't really say hybrid, either. We averaged just 17 mpg in our time with the car. Luckily, the rest of the car makes up for these faults. Despite the quirks and the unfinished interior, the NSX is plugged in. The second your butt finds its way into the low-slung seat and your hands wrap themselves around a cold leather steering wheel, the NSX knows what to do. Gas mileage and cup holders be damned, let's just go fast. And after carefully chaperoning the NSX to the test track and wowing my girlfriend, her parents, and my parents, I decided that was enough showing off. It was time to see if the refreshed NSX drove as sharp as it looked. On a good road the NSX isn't just quick, it's a bully. The two electric motors up front claw at the road in the quest for extra grip at all times. The SHAWD system overdrives the outside front wheel, and the effect is, essentially, added turn-in. The NSX is easy to push, even if your fists are made of ham, and as features editor Christian Seabaugh noted, there's a truly disgusting amount of mid-corner grip. Though it bullies a road into submission, the NSX is always friendly to its driver. Perhaps the best thing about driving the NSX is you're rarely penalized for making a mistake on the road. Overshooting a slow corner isn't met with punishing understeer. Being too enthusiastic with the throttle won't result in a big slide, or worse. Instead, the NSX calmly puts its hand on your shoulder and urges you to give the road and the car your full attention. It's for the best. When we first drove the NSX in 2015, we said Acura let us drive it a few years too early. Now that those years have passed, we're left with the car we wanted in the first place. Even if the interior is still an ergonomic nightmare and the MPG is still awful, the changes Acura made to the 2020 NSX turn it into a $160,000 super hybrid that's worth its price tag. Oh, and your R8 can't cruise around in EV mode, can it? Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.